Hi everybody, welcome to first edition of what we hope is numerous roundtable discussions about handicaps. I'm here with Tom Stone, the handicap chairman. Tom, how long have you been the handicap chair?
Just over a year now, Matt.
Just over a year. Seems like decades.
It does. Well, I think that I should just start out by saying how I got into this role. I was unanimously, overwhelmingly elected to this position.
I remember that.
I think probably because of my positive disposition, my ability to, my diplomatic acumen, I guess I could call it, and thirdly, probably no one else wanted to do it.
Let's go with the last one.
We'll go with the last one.
I've drawn up some frequently asked questions here in my 5 years of War Country Club. This took me about 35 seconds to put together. Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
Number one, how is your handicap determined?
Okay, well, the handicap is determined, you have a handicap index, which is determined by, there's a complicated formula. Let's say you have 20 scores. 20 scores is ideal because you take the best, let's take the best of the 10 scores. There's a complicated formula, there's something called a handicap differential, where you take your adjusted score, you subtract the USGA rating, you multiply it by 113, you divide it by the slope of the course, and that's your differential. You take 96% of that, and that is your handicap index. So if you have 20 scores, you do that for the 10 best. And as you go down, like say you have 8 scores, 9 scores, you use fewer and fewer. And really what that tells you is that the more scores you have, the more accurate your handicap index will be.
Interesting, interesting. If you didn't know, Tom went to Brown University, so a lot of that went over most of our viewing audience's head.
Fortunately, you can just punch your score in and all that math will be done for you.
Yes, so the 20 best scores, if you see an asterisk next to that score, that's one of the 10 that they used out of your 20. What percentage would you say roughly do golfers shoot their handicap? Say I'm a 10 handicap, I shoot 79. How many times does that happen, say?
Maybe 20%, 25%.
That's interesting. So the handicap is more your potential, it's not your average score.
Correct.
Interesting. Number 2, what score do I post if I don't finish my round?
Okay. If you don't finish your round, you will take par plus any handicap strokes that you're entitled to for that hole. So let's say that, for an example, let's say you're a 30 handicap. Which that means you get 1 stroke on each hole, plus you get another 12, right? 18 and 12 is 30.
Yes.
So let's say you're on, let's say it gets dark after the 16th hole, you have 2 holes to play, but it's too dark to play. Let's say that the 17th hole is, you get a stroke on that hole, it's the 10th handicap hole. Here it's a par 3, your score would be 4. And on your scorecard, you would actually record X4. That signifies that you didn't finish it. And then the next hole, let's say that the next hole is, well, let's just say you still get a stroke on it, you would put X5. So it's par 4, the 18th is par 4 plus 1.
Interesting, interesting. So you can actually post a score even if you didn't play 18 holes?
Yeah, if you play at least 13 holes, you must post an 18-hole score. And so you'd have 13 holes in the last 5, you'd have X whatever, if you play 11 holes, or I think it's at least, you can correct me if I'm wrong, at least 7, but no more than 11, you post a 9-hole score.
Right. Okay, lastly, what is a handicap index? I have a tournament, say I'm Joe Blow, Joe Handicap, amateur player, and I have a tournament in, say, Nevada.
Okay.
And I want to play against my dad, who's a 48 handicap. How do I know how many strokes I did?
Okay. The one thing that's great about the USGA handicap system is that the index is portable from club to club. So every club has a conversion table. So you look at your index and it will convert your index to a handicap based on the slope of that course, which is a measure of difficulty, so that you can compete on an equitable basis anywhere.
Interesting. Well, Tom has been very helpful, very thankful. You have anything else you'd like to add?
Just that the handicap system was set up so that players of different abilities can compete on an equitable basis. It's all based on integrity. So if you don't hand in your score, you're hurting yourself, you're not going to be able to compete on an equitable basis. And to be quite honest with you, there are going to be people who are not going to want to play with you. Unfortunately, it's all about the competition, but the system works. If you handle your scores, it does work.
Okay. Stay tuned for another edition of This Is Your Handicap.